In the early 2000s, Course of Nature was a dominating powerhouse within deep Southern rock music. From having Arms Wide Open with Creed touring for 4 years, or sharing a photograph with Nickelback on the back of a tour bus, this band was surrounded by major players within music and entertainment, which would not only give them a chance of luck, but also commercial success, as Course of Nature and their hit track Wall of Shame would be one of the bops featured within EA's successful launch of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Even though Hot Action Cop and their commercial success with tracks such as Going Down on It that could be seen in skateboarding films like Grind, which was also the face of this Need for Speed game, Force of Nature would outshine what the vibe was for 2002. And it felt a lot better whenever you were jamming out to Wall of Shame and getting bullied by the cops within Hot Pursuit 2. I remember my first experience with this band cruising around the game after hits from Pulse Ultra and Hot Action Cop, who have also disappeared within Rock or Butt Rock, would play. Wall of Shame just felt right for the fast-paced environment that Need for Speed was looking to achieve. It had that grungy, melodic nu metal sound that could be seen within early 2000s WWE games and was similar to what you can hear within bands like Seven Dust and their track Suffocate. After the commercial success of Course of Nature, the struggles of touring, member lineup changes, and family events would alter what the band had become. What happened to this powerhouse of rock, and would it leave a wall of shame or gain after the fall? Force of Nature had been on the forefront of what Southern rock was in the 2000s. Mark Wilkerson's deep but twingy vocals that matched what Nickelback presented, and the instrumentals by members such as Rick Shelton would give us what we heard in drums through groups like Three Doors Down. It seemed like this band had stumbled into success by presenting themselves with catchy lyrics and extremely good vibes. But what really started Course of Nature was through its origin cover band COG and a very lucky opportunity. Lead singer Mark Wilkerson had ambitions of playing football. Even at a young age, he would strive through crazy workouts and football events for this dream. However, this incredible dream would leave him with multiple injuries. Mark would then retire that ambition, but soon pick up a new one with a pen, paper, and guitar. As a hobby, he would write lyrics and had joined the cover band COG, but it was through his own mixtape recordings that were discovered in the center console of his car that founded Course of Nature. Nashville Fit has a great podcast episode on this, and I highly suggest checking it out because Mark gives such genuine vibes. But soon after Course of Nature was founded, Mark would pick up John Mildrum from COG because of his talents with guitar and bass. Rick Shelton would join the group as drums, who had come from the band Dust for Life, which you can hear similarities in tracks like Seed. The craziest thing to come out of this band for me is just how much talent and major players surrounded them. Their first album was produced by Matt Martone, who had worked with Saliva and Skillet, which were very successful bands of the time with similar sound. Then, out of coincidence, Mark had met Melissa Joan Hart through Course of Nature's tours, who had been successful acting in series such as Sabrina the Teenage Witch in the late 90s. The both of them would hit it off and start a family. Their second album, Damage, was produced by David Bendeth, who had worked with Breaking Benjamin and had touched the beloved Halo 2 theme, Blow Me Away, no pun intended. Force of Nature just seemed to have spiritual success because of how well everything flowed, but also how quickly they would put themselves next to music legends. Force of Nature would be seen as something special, and in 2001, they would sign to label Lava Records, which had been a joint venture with Atlantic Records of the time. You can see Lava Records' influence in tracks like Caught in the Sun, which had gained major radio play of the time and had been number 13 on Billboard's mainstream rock tracks. I remember this track playing just about everywhere, whether it be in the car or at a baseball game to pass past the time, and realistically, the track still holds up. And this is mainly because it showcases what people were feeling in music of the time. There were a lot of rock hits in the 2000s that were written to be love letters, and you can see this in tracks like How You Remind Me by Nickelback, which isn't really a love letter. I mean, like, if you truly think about it, but it did have that slow, grungy tempo that would pop Course of Nature to tour because of its similarity. Speaking of tours, this band would put on a show for 4 years to promote their first album, but Mark had been with COG on tours previously. If you glance at what these tours were, you have to admit that they were not freaking small. Taking a look back at some of the shows Course of Nature was a part of through websites like Concert Archive, they were up there with some of the hits of the time. You had them next to Puddle of Mudd, who was known for their hit track Blurry, and then POD with Youth of the Nation. This would lead the band to being showcased in video games like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 and series like Smallville being featured within season 1. But it wasn't just commercial success that drove the band to the powerhouse it was. Mark Wilkerson was the primary writer for the band, and yes, he did have some help from other members and musicians, but his outlook on what it could be pushed Course of Nature to stardom. His vocals and the way he spoke a story with instruments alongside his charisma gave way to success. But this success was short-lived, and by 2008, the band would face struggles of holding it together. At the peak of Course of Nature's success, they would face the downsides of touring and wanting to seek other ventures. Their second album, Damaged, would release in 2008, seeing success with track hits like Anger Cage, but the album itself had been a struggle to release. The hardship of touring and being on the road in a bus jam-packed with people caused two members to drop Course altogether. But it really wasn't because of arguments. If you take a look into John Mildrum and his social media presence, it is pretty lackluster. But what you can find is an average Joe that I'm not really going to showcase because I would love to give him privacy. This could also be seen within Mark Wilkerson as well, as he stated in a podcast episode with his wife that he doesn't have a TikTok personality. Essentially, he just doesn't use TikTok. Now, social media wasn't relevant at the time during Course of Nature's success, but if you had this much fame up for grabs, you would think that these members would have an online reaction. These changes within the members caused the band to seek other talents, giving us fans the second album. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows with a new lineup of members. Mark had started a family with Melissa in 2006 and was more focused on that part of his life, but the band itself had faced similar situations, as some had missed the birth of their children from being on tour. In the Ground Up podcast episode, Mark stated himself he was the biggest problem as to why Course of Nature failed. He wanted to be a family man, and touring had outgrown him. In 2011, the band would split, and all members who had been rock stars for a brief moment had went to focus on more normal lives. Some of the members still work on music behind the scenes, but others like Mark have invested into gym culture, opening franchises like BFT or Body Fit training. And even though Course of Nature was short-lived, it will go down as a very successful opportunity. To me, Course of Nature will be seen as that one band that I could cruise to on Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Their grungy aesthetic with melodic harmony will forever be a nostalgia piece for me. And when I think of Course, I think of that one moment that I feel free or felt free. Not to be grim. And even to this day, it is still a bop to cruise to IRL. Do I really want them to make a comeback tour? Not really. When researching into this video, I can see that all members are happy in what they achieved and are settled, which is a dream in itself. I mean, how many people get an opportunity because of a chance or some weird luck with a mixtape in a center console? With that being said, we are pushing the end of this video. Course of Nature was the face of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, and as well as my childhood.